Okay, hello once more. Welcome to the live stream. Today we're looking at IELTS Speaking. The idea is I'll share a link with you. Some of you will come and join me here live. I'll ask you some questions and give you some feedback. So I'm not teaching you how to do the IELTS speaking test. I'm giving you feedback on your performance, and also you'll just get more familiar with what the IELTS examiner is looking for. I have already made lessons on how to improve your scores and what to do in the IELTS speaking test. So I'll just share those with you now. This complete IELTS speaking guide. So there's a link for YouTube and a link for Facebook. So just click on that and you'll see how the IELTS speaking test is scored, how to improve your scores, what to do in part 1, part 2, part 3, what to expect in the IELTS test, what to expect from the examiner. Basically everything is there. So if you haven't already completed that, go ahead and complete that. And what we're doing here is, like I said, just giving feedback. So I'm not showing you what to do. I'm giving feedback and you'll better understand what the examiner is looking for. Hi, Rupinder. Good to see you here. If you have done the IELTS speaking test and you failed, so this is a question I get a lot. Students say, how do I improve my scores? Well, the big thing is, why did you not get your scores? So you need to find out, do you have a problem with fluency? Do you have a problem with vocab? Do you have a problem with grammar? Or do you have a problem with pronunciation? It might be more than one of those things. But if, for example, your fluency is already at the level you need, then you don't need to improve your fluency. So just work on the things that need your attention. So it's important to know where you're lacking and then focus on that. That's the fastest way to get your IELTS scores. Hi, Udine. Good to see you here. Jeshan, hello to you. Hello, Facebook user. Loretto, good to see you back here. Okay, so let me share the link to come and join me live. Okay. Here's the link for you. Link to join me live. Click on that. That'll bring you into the platform. And then, like I said, I'll ask you some questions and give you some feedback. This lesson, we're focusing on IELTS speaking part 1. So we go through it. Last week was part 2. Excuse me. Last week was part 3. We're back to part 1 this week. Next week will be part 2. Then the following week, part 3, and so on. Hi, is that Tilo? Do you begin the lesson? Yep. Ready to go now. Hey, Naomi. Good to see you here. Hi, James. How am I doing? Not as good as normal, actually. I had one of those AstraZeneca vaccines on Sunday, and my head is killing me. I've never had a vaccine. I mean, I take whatever vaccines are going around. I don't mind taking vaccines. I've taken plenty of vaccines in my time, but I've never had one to hurt. My head is killing me. My head is honestly killing me. I wasn't anticipating that. I'm good. In general, I'm good, but I do have a headache. Thanks for asking. Sharon Preet, hi to you. Hello. Hey, Marvik, good to see you here. Hey, Shira. Okay, so we're pretty much just waiting for people to join me here. So just waiting for people to click on this link and then we can get started on giving feedback. Besides that, if anybody has any questions or if anybody has anything that they want to say, please go ahead and say it in the comments. Hi, Arzu. Get well soon. Maybe I'm making a big deal out of it. Maybe it's not as bad. Maybe it's not all that bad. And I could take a paracetamol or a Panadol, but for some reason, I try to avoid those if I can. Hi, Dalitsu. I see Dalitsu sharing my stuff, sharing my complete test success with a lot of people this week. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. How do I improve my reading and listening? I'm stuck at 6 for reading and listening 5.5. So that depends on why you're getting the answers incorrect. So if your answers are incorrect because you're making spelling mistakes, well then you need to improve your spelling. If your answers are incorrect because you don't understand the words that they're using, you don't have the vocabulary, then you need to improve your vocab. If it could be a problem with the way you're doing the test. So like what would be quite common is in the listening test where somebody is focusing on reading the questions when the answer is being played in the audio. So they're focusing at the wrong thing at the wrong time. So if it's that, then it's a test skill, and you need to learn how to navigate when you can listen and when you can switch off. But I have lessons for those as well. If you go to like the videos in my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel, you'll find them there, or on my website, you'll see lessons for reading and listening there. Hello again. Hi to you. Hey, Mark. Good to see you here. Hi, Sahab. Thank you. Sorry, I should have taken an analgesic before taking the shot. Oh, you should have taken I actually don't know what that is. I'm not aware of that. I don't know what that word is. You caught me. How do I join? I want to practice today. Yeah, so Elvis, just click on that link. So it's like when you joined the last time. Just click on that link. You'll find it there. Okay, so I have James with me here. James, let's get you in. Hey, James. Hey, James, can you hear me? Oh, must be an internet connection. Rupinder, get you on here. Hi, Rupinder.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm perfectly fine. How are
Good.
you?
Doing good. Good, good. Where are you from, Rupinder?
I'm from India, specifically
India.
Punjab.
Okay. What score do you need in speaking?
At least seven. Actually, I'm
Need 7.
looking for masters, so for scholarship, if it's good if I get 7 man.
Okay, so 7 or higher, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you booked your test yet, or what's your plan?
Uh, oh, I haven't booked yet due to Corona in India, so I'm not
Sure.
sure about that.
Their test centers closing again, right?
Yes, sir.
Um, when would you like to do the test?
Maybe in the last of Feb.
Okay, the end of next month. Okay, so we're looking at part 1 today. So let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you now. I'm going to ask you some questions about entertainment.
Okay.
Do you prefer relaxing at home or going out in the evening?
Um, I think staying at home would be a good option for me because hardly I get time for relaxation and some exercise and some watching Netflix at home works well for me.
When you go out for an evening, what do you like to do?
Most of the time when I get opportunity to go out, mostly I prefer with my friends. I like to have some delicious food recipes. I try to explore, and apart from that, I would like to visit the cinema.
How popular is this with other people in your country?
It's quite popular in India as especially the youth like to go outside, have dine out mostly, and visit some museums. Apart from that, especially the young generation like to visit cinemas to watch the upcoming movies.
Is there any, excuse me, is there any kind of entertainment you do not like?
Yeah, actually, I don't like loud music. Sometimes when I attend pub or some club, so sometimes I got irritated due to the loud music, because I easily get headache due to this music.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so for you, the main area is going to be connected speech. In particular, you're pausing in unnatural places. So you're pausing in unnatural places. Your pauses aren't long, and it's not a problem with fluency. So a fluency problem is where somebody needs to stop, think about the word that they want to say, or stop and think about the idea that they want to talk about. But for you, it's more that you're pausing in the wrong place. So like, sorry, just one second. That. So if we take the sentence, for you, it's more that you're pausing in the wrong place.
Okay.
So if we take that, where I'm pausing is after for you. So for you, it's more that you're pausing in the wrong place. So there's a short pause after for you, and a short pause after pausing. So listen again. For you, it's more that you're pausing in the wrong place.
Okay.
And what you're doing is you're pausing in the wrong places. So you're saying, for you, it's more that you're pausing in the wrong place. So it's not a problem with fluency, it's where you pause is the issue.
Um, I think pauses not with fluency.
Yeah, pronunciation.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing then is when you're using words like hardly, some, mostly, you have a habit of using those words and you're used kind of in a natural way, but they're where you're putting them is grammatically incorrect. So in general, you've got a good level of accuracy with your grammar, but you have a tendency to use words like that where they don't belong. So
I
hardly,
think it's
some.
natural maybe.
I think it's a habit. I think it's
Yeah.
a habit you have. I think there are words you use when you're trying to think of what to say next, but they're they're increasing the number of grammar mistakes you're making. So
Might
something like wouldn't interfere with your grammar the same way as these words are. So that'll be my main advice for you. Try to reduce how often you use those words and then focus on the pauses. Yeah.
okay.
Do you have
Thank
any
you so
questions for me or need anything?
I just wanna ask that how can I overcome the fear of speaking, and whenever I try to speak, I although I aware of grammar, but still I make mistakes.
Yeah, so it's just about integrating one at a time. So I was talking to a student yesterday, and what we were talking about is you have to be able to do it in writing first before you're going to be able to do it in speaking. So if you're trying to
Okay.
correct something in your speaking that you can't do in your writing, then that's not realistic. So get it right in your writing first, and then when you can do that, you integrate it one at a time. So you're not just saying I'm going to improve my grammar, but you're saying, okay, right now I'm going to improve my subject verb agreement. So when you're talking, you're going to have to slow down a lot. You're going to really have your fluency will have to suffer because you're going to be thinking every subject verb agreement, thinking very carefully and thinking like very consciously about each sentence that you say. But after a while, that will just become more natural and you'll do it automatically. Your fluency will get better, and then it's time to integrate the next grammar point that you want to work on. So it's like just taking, realistic small steps is the way to go.
Okay, thank you so much. Quite
Sure thing.
unique advice I've heard.
Okay, good. Nice to meet you,
Okay,
Rupinder. Take care of yourself.
thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's sharing my stuff again. Thank you. Great. Getting more people involved. Is today only for questions? Today is for speaking. Today is for speaking. Is that hello? Hello to you. Okay, so James, you ready? We'll get you in here again.
Yes, yes,
Hey
I'm ready.
James, how are you doing?
Good afternoon, yeah. I'm doing fine.
Did you have a do you have an internet connection? A problem with the internet
Yes, I
connection there?
have. Yes, I
Okay,
have.
James. So can you just tell everyone where you're from there, James?
James Orina is from Kenya. Hello?
And yeah, you're a little bit low, but I can hear you. And what score do you need?
I need a 7 score, 7 band score.
And have you planned when you're going to take your test?
I'm planning to take it in April after the Easter holiday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you a few questions here. Okay, James. I'm going to ask you some questions about color. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue. And I like blue because one of the teams that I support puts on a blue jersey. The team called Chelsea. And blue is their color. That's why I like blue.
Did you like the same colors now as you did when you were younger?
No, I just came to realize that when I grew up, I came to understand the spectrum and the colors that are in the spectrum. And that's why I came to consider blue as my favorite color.
What can you learn about a person from the colors they like?
Pardon?
What can you learn about a person from the colors they like?
First of all, what he usually puts on, what he usually writes with, that's what I learned from the person through his color.
Do any colors have a special meaning in your culture?
No, in our culture, we don't consider colors because it is a traditional way. They do not use colors as something that our community had to consider.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So with vocab and grammar, your range and accuracy is quite good at the moment. Your pronunciation, honestly, the sound quality isn't great. Maybe it's the internet connection or maybe it's your microphone. I can understand you, but it's more to do with the internet. But for sure, the main area you need to focus on is fluency, because nearly every sentence has some significant pauses. So for you, the main thing will have to be fluency. To get a band 7, you need to have not no pauses, but you need to drastically reduce the number of pauses, and that's just about practicing speaking. So speaking more, and I think where a lot of students will sorry, James, I'm just going to mute you there because it's a little bit noisy.
Okay.
Okay, so where a lot of students go wrong is they feel I need a speaking partner to improve my fluency. But you don't need someone to listen to you. It doesn't matter if someone's listening to you or not. You need to practice speaking. So if you're by yourself, if you're just talking out loud, saying what you're thinking, if you're like, what I like to do is like open up a newspaper and just read the headline and then speak out loud, say, what do you think the article is going to be about? What information do you expect to see? So anything to get you talking without having any preparation. I am like an example of what isn't helping your fluency. So for example, I went to get my hair cut on Sunday. And before, like, I can speak some Vietnamese, but my Vietnamese isn't very good. So before I got my hair cut, I'm like, how am I going to tell him what I want? So I probably sat there for about 5 minutes thinking, okay, this is what I will say. You know what I mean? So like getting myself ready. So then when I spoke to him, I'd already I had prepared in advance. That's not helping my fluency. So it's reacting instantly is what you need. So when you're practicing, if you're looking at the newspaper headline and then you think, okay, you're thinking about it for a while and then you start speaking, that won't help your fluency. But just instantly reacting to something and practicing. So if you have a speaking partner, that's great. But if you don't, you can still practice by yourself. So that's what I would recommend.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, or do you have anything you'd like to say before
I've
we
got a
finish up?
question.
Yeah.
I've got a question,
Go ahead, James.
and the question was about the other time you talked about academic, and I am more focusing on the general training. So how can
That's
you
fine.
take me through the general training other than academic?
Speaking is the exact same. And then general training, the only real difference
It's all the
is
same.
task 1. Writing task 1 is the only real difference. So in the reading test, the way you would prepare for the reading test is the same. It's the same question types, the same question formats, but the types of text, the types of reading texts that are used in the tests are different. But the way you prepare is the same. So it's really just task 1 for writing. So general training, you write a letter. So it seems a lot easier.
Okay.
And academic is you're describing a graph or an image, process, or a map. Now, I think initially general training seems easier because you're just writing a letter and it's very straightforward. But the problem with general training is the tone. So if you're writing a formal letter and you include some informal language, that brings your task achievement score right down. So I think initially general training seems easier, but overall it's probably easier to improve your score in academic task 1, or not easier, but faster. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
You too, James. Take care of yourself.
I'm following up. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Talk to you next time, James. Okay, so at the moment, Saru and Izzatullah, can you turn on your cameras, please, before I bring you in here? And let me just have a quick look at any comments that we have. Oh, so you just got in, so you see there. How to improve sentence stress. So sentence stress is about like stressing the correct words. In general, Maha, the problem is going to be with students stressing too many words. So a lot of it has to be like being able to recognize how many words you're stressing. So recording yourself is really useful. You record yourself and have an original text, an original sentence that you're following. So go to YouTube, find a sentence and copy that. Obviously, you're going to use a native English speaker, so you'll be able to copy their sentence stress. But more likely than not, you'll have stressed, let's say you stressed 5 words, but you should have stressed 2. So you're looking at which 5 did you stress, which 2 should you have stressed, listening to the recording and finding that out, then practicing again, trying to really just focus on those. What's good as well is like drilling, where you just focus on the words that are stressed. So just say the stressed words first, and then drop in the unstressed words around that as well. But if you go to my website as well, you'll see stuff on how to do that. If you go to the speaking lesson. Maybe next time, Naomi. Also want to join the live chat. Perfect. Yep. So Delitsu, just scroll up and you'll see it says link to join live. Just click on that and you'll be able to get in here. Hey, Nusa. So just click on that link as well. So it's right up one of the first comments. So just scroll up to the top and you'll see it there. Hi, Fasil. Mohammadi, hello to you. How to answer IELTS part 1. So give a direct answer to the question and then just expand on it a little bit of an explanation, or just say why or why not. It's generally enough. Excuse me. Mohammadi, how to improve your pronunciation. So again, it's like I was saying at the start of the lesson, if you failed your IELTS test, you need to know, is your problem with fluency, vocab, grammar, pronunciation? But in the same way, if you need to improve your pronunciation, you also need to know what you're doing wrong. So is it your sentence stress? Is it your word stress? Is it individual sounds? Is it connected speech? So knowing specifically what mistakes you're making and then working on those. So that's what it's all about. Hi Elsa. So you took the IELTS exam in September and got 5.5 for my speaking part. How many months does it take to achieve 7 or more in speaking? So you can't really say how many months. Like if I have one student studying an hour a week and one student studying 40 hours a week, that's obviously going to be a big factor. And it also depends on what areas you need to improve. So if you need to improve vocab, that's going to take longer than if you need to improve grammar. It depends how focused you are. So I know like some people, they'll do an hour of study and 50 minutes of that will be, looking at their news feed on Facebook and 10 minutes thinking about studying and actually not do anything. So it's not how much time you spend, it's how much improvement you make. So like let's say if we're talking about going from a band 6 to a band 7 in vocab, if I said you need to learn 1,000 words, how long would that take? So of course it'd be faster for some people than others. So it's not about how much time. It's about how you use your time. Are you focusing on the right things? If I'm working with a student that needs to improve their vocabulary, but they spend all their time on pronunciation, then they'll never get there. So it just depends. It depends. Else it's there is no correct answer. It's just very, very subjective. Hey Lizzie. So it's right up at the top. Right up at the top. I'll show you. I can click on it for you here. Look, this one, link to join me live. So you'll find it up at the top there. So, Mohamedi, you're very welcome. Any uses for IELTS for reading newspapers? Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Improving your vocab would be a big one. But doing it strategically. You can't just read newspapers for like as you normally would. You need to have an approach to doing it. You're trying to join, but you can't get through. I'm not sure about that. Okay, Saru. Sorry, that took me a little bit longer than I expected. How are you doing?
Hello, sir.
How's everything?
It's good, I think.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know any better, then that's good.
Yeah.
So you've been practicing since we last spoke?
Not really, because
No.
I had a throat infection, so I couldn't practice and involving in all those other modules because of my throat infection.
Oh dear.
I have to
How
do
are
a
you feeling now?
rest.
How are you feeling now?
Yeah, it's good, but it's still a bit of uncomfortable while speaking.
Okay. Bad timing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you some questions anyway, and I'll have some feedback for you here. Okay. I'm going to ask you some questions about your country. Which part of your country do most people live in?
Well, most of the people live in the central part of my country because in the central part there is a capital city of Nepal, Kathmandu. So on the sake of employment and education, most of the people migrate to that place from other states.
Tell me about the main industries there.
The main industries there is about shoe industry, which is which is quite popular. One of the brand is Gold Star, and it is getting popular all over the world.
How easy is it to travel around your country?
It is quite easier to travel on the cities, whereas it is more difficult to travel in the countryside because of the road structure there. The road in the city, whereas is huge and it's well paved with no obstacles, so it is quite easier to travel there. But in the countryside, with a narrow and gravel road, it is quite uneasy and dangerous to travel.
Has your country changed much since you were a child?
Yes, it had changed in a way of development and urbanization, increasing population. So most of the people are migrating to the cities and capital, whereas in the rural areas while the less people are living here, uh, it's quite a old people living in the rural areas, and the most of the young people are migrating to the city areas. So it has been a change since I have grown up.
Thank you. Okay, so I think just a small few small few grammar mistakes here. So there's only one capital city in every country. So we say the capital city, but you said a capital city.
Okay.
You said the main industries there is.
Oh, yeah.
Are, so subject verb agreement. The road in the city is. Should be the roads in the city are. So same mistake again. Subject verb agreement. And it tends to be like when it's a longer noun phrase. So like when you say it is, they are, you're fine. But when you have a longer phrase like the main industries there, that's when you're making the mistake. So it's when the subject has got a few words in it. One vocab mistake, you use the word uneasy to mean difficult, but those have different meanings. Yeah. Uneasy is like, do you know when you're very, very tired, but you can't sleep because you're too tired?
Yeah.
You know that feeling? That's uneasy. That's what we would say is I feel uneasy, that very uncomfortable feeling from inside.
So it can be difficult or existing to travel, or what?
For the word uneasy,
Yeah.
we wouldn't use it like that. We just say it's difficult.
Okay, just a difficult. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same meaning. Even though to look at it, it looks like it should, but that's not what it means. So just keep that one in mind. No problem. Do you have any questions at the moment, Saru?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, my problem is grammar. But I have realized
Not that many mistakes this time, though.
but still the plurals and subject verb agreement.
Yeah, so stay working on it. But the thing is, you don't need to be perfect for a band 7. Do you know what I mean? That's why there's a band 8 and a band 9. You know, it's not. You need to be very good. You don't need to be perfect. So don't
How
think about
about
it that way.
my hesitation and pause while speaking?
No issue. So
Let's hope
progress there.
I'll get 7. Yeah.
Hope so.
Okay, thank
Talk
you.
to you next time, Saru. Take care of yourself.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Sorry, Dilly. So you'll just have to click that link. So if it's not working, what I would say is maybe try a different device. So if you're on your laptop, try phone or vice versa. If you're using Facebook app, I'm guessing, I'm making this up. If you're using a Facebook app, maybe try it on Chrome. Could that be an issue? I'm guessing. I don't know, but it's definitely working because I have people coming in here. Blessing, I'd need more time to say exactly what the score was, but it would be somewhere close to a 7. I couldn't say confidently that that's a 7. I'd need to speak for longer, but definitely close to a 7. Sarwa, you ready? Hey, Sarwa.
Yes, sir.
Long time no see.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I've been busy. I'm great. And what about you?
Doing good, thank you. Doing good. Okay, so let me ask you. Okay, so I have more people waiting, so I'll just ask you a short. I'll ask you fewer questions. So, okay, I'm going to ask you some questions about newspapers. How do
All
you
right.
usually get your news?
Um, really, usually we get our news, um, especially on you on the social media, yeah, and on the television too. But previously, uh, people used to buy newspapers, but because of social media, it's hardly someone buys newspapers to read because they can easily um, get any news that they want from their devices, from their mobile phones, from the internet.
Do you often read the newspapers?
Not really. I used to, but um, of late I've been busy with parenting and then with a lot of staffs with working, so I don't normally get time. But I make sure I try my best to be able to at least go through the internet and then read something if I have a free time.
What kind of news do you usually follow?
I follow BBC News, and then one of our local news station, TV station. We have Joy News. Yeah. So basically, these are the two um, television stations that I usually follow.
How do most people get the news in your country?
People mostly get news from, first and foremost, from the television station, especially during the morning at 6 a.m. and then during the noon time at 12 p.m. and then in the evening at 6 p.m.
Thank you. You got a you got a cocoa melon on in the background there.
Yeah.
I,
sorry.
I know every cocoa melon song
Sorry.
at this stage. I've never heard of cocoa melon 3 years ago, and now I know it all. Oh,
Sorry.
they're good. To be fair, like they are good. They're entertainment. They got nice songs and stuff. But I know,
Yeah.
it's like I know what I'm listening to. That's familiar. Okay,
I was
your
quite
English.
nervous
You were
at the
nervous.
beginning. I was quite nervous.
You had more pauses at the beginning. You had more
Yeah.
pauses at the beginning, but you came along. So initially, I'd actually written down pauses, but
Yeah.
I wasn't going to mention it because you recovered. Um, some small grammar mistakes. You said a lot of
All right.
stuffs, but stuff is
Okay.
uncountable, so that already means plural things.
Okay.
If I have a free time, but just if I have free time. So those are
All
the
right.
two. For you, you've actually got some nice pronunciation, some nice connected speech, some nice intonation, and there's just this thing. And where are you from again, Sarah?
I'm from Ghana.
You're from Ghana.
Yeah.
So is Ghana near Kenya?
It's closer
No,
to
just
Togo
say
and
no.
Nigeria. Yeah.
Oh, so it's at the other side of the country.
Yes.
Okay. Um, so it's quite common. So maybe across that whole block of Africa, where you pronounce the vowels in some words incorrectly.
All right.
So when they're like a softer vowel sound, you make a harder vowel sound. So like the word usually, you say usually, you know? So it should
Yeah.
be usual, but you say ah. Or the same with the word local, you say local, like that. Or,
All right.
okay, I'm not trying to insult you, I'm just saying. The word to, there was some, like the last vowel sound was kind of stronger as well. And it seems to be quite common. So it's the vowel sounds, and it's usually at the end of the word. It's not like the first vowel sound. It's always the last vowel sound when it happens. So that, I would say, would be the best thing for you to work on.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Hi, Pleasant. You're very welcome. Okay, let's get Lorato in here. Hey, Lorato.
Hey, hello.
How you doing? Have we spoken before
Yeah, we've spoken before.
in the live stream?
Yes, like some 2 weeks ago, before you went for Christmas.
I've forgotten everything from last year already.
Okay.
What score? Can you remind me what score you needed, Lorato?
I need 7 and plus.
7
7 plus.
7 or more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let me ask you some questions here. So Lorato, I'm going to ask you some questions about pets. Do you have a pet?
Yeah, I have some pets. Like I have a dog and a cat, and those are the pets that I really prefer.
Do you like animals? Do you like animals? Hi, Lorato, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Your next question. Do you like animals?
Yeah, I like animals. Like now, I'm a farmer and I'm keeping some livestock, cows, goats, and sheep.
Why?
Is the source of my income. From cows I get milk, I sell them, and then also for meat purposes. Yeah.
What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal is a cow. In our culture, it's preferred, or like if you have a cow, then you gain some respect in the community.
And what is a popular pet to have in your country?
The popular, most preferred pet here in our country is a cat and a dog, for instance.
Why?
People enjoy, or people laugh when they have these kinds of pets in their houses, for instance. Like you get some, like when you have some friendship with other friends. So a pet here comes as a replacement.
Good. Thanks, Redo. Your main thing, you just need to expand more. So in fluency and coherence, part of it is that you can develop your answer, and you need to do it by yourself. So, if I'm asking you why all the time, that's I have to make you talk. So it's on me to get you to answer. But when you're talking, I mean, it's very clear, good range, good accuracy. Like you do have a lot of strengths, but you're going to have to get more comfortable with expanding on the answers yourself. So that would be the main thing. That would be the main area for you to work on based on that. Just one pronunciation mistake. You said farmer, right?
Yeah. Yes.
It sounded to me like you said plumber.
No, a farmer.
Okay, I understood it that time.
Yes.
So when you said it the first time, it wasn't. I thought it was plumber, but that was it. Those are the only notes that I've made. Just your answers are too short. You need to expand more. But when you're speaking, what you say is good. Just you don't speak as much as you should. That's all.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions or anything at the moment?
No, I'm okay.
All right. Nice to see you again. Take care, Loretta.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Okay. So I have Naso, you're finding it difficult to join. Mohammadi, same. Hi, Akil. Good to see you here. Hey, Prav. Okay, let me share the link with you guys again. So their link to join me live. Blessing. So one needs to expatriate on the questions asked. You need to expand on the questions asked, yeah. So like a big part of your fluency and coherence score is that you can actually say, like, develop that idea by yourself. So first of all, what we're looking for is development, but it needs to be relevant. You can't just talk about something completely different. It has to be related to the question. So expanding on your answer is very, very important. If you're not expanding on your answers, you're not going to get more than a band 5 for fluency and coherence. That works. Good. So please, those things finding it difficult to join, try YouTube, because that's what I used to join the live stream. Thank you, Sarah. That might be the difference. That could be it exactly. Blessing, you're very welcome. Okay, I also want to share with you guys my live feedback lessons. So every week I have group classes on Zoom. So those are my live feedback lessons. And also I have a one-on-one service. So if you want a full practice speaking test with me, you can find those there. So click on that link. The live feedback lessons, you need to sign up. So I already had the speaking one this week, but tomorrow is academic task 1 and Friday is academic 2. So as well as the live streams that I have on Facebook and YouTube, I also have those lessons on Zoom. Is it true not to use the word very? No. No, not at all. I'm going to guess that came from a video or a teacher saying, instead of using very, use these other words. So don't say very good, say wonderful or something like that. It's not terrible advice. You'll have a better range, but you definitely should. It's definitely okay to use the word very. It's a very natural word to use as well. So I wouldn't avoid it. Hey, Mazam, good to see you here. Hello, Facebook user. I think you're probably in, it seems if you're in the Facebook group rather than the Facebook page, your name doesn't come up for some reason. Something to do with the software. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't sound like bad advice, but I wouldn't go around trying to avoid the word very. Very is completely natural word to use and a very common word, so no, it's definitely okay. Mustafa, you ready? Get you in here. Hi, Mustafa. How are you doing? You're muted there at the moment. I'll just get you to unmute yourself. Sorry, Mustafa, so you just need to unmute yourself there first. I think you need to do it on your end. So if you could just unmute yourself on the app.
Excellent.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. I suddenly touched that microphone.
Perfect. How are you today?
I'm fine. And you?
Doing well. Mustafa, can you remind me what speaking score you need, please?
As usual, others, that means 7 and 7 above.
It's all
But
7
I
and
got,
above.
but last time I got 5 and 5. That is not for my desired score.
Sure, you have to start somewhere. 5.5, there's a lot of work between a 5.5 and a 7. There's a lot of work. So you're talking about like 2 bands have to increase by, I can't do the math in my head right now. You have to improve a lot. So 2 bands by 1.5 and 2 by 1. That's a lot of work.
2 by 1, exactly. Or 2.
So, I mean, you probably need to improve everything. Are you working on each skill individually? Like, how are you working towards getting a band 7?
I work, so that's why I have no sufficient time. I use 3 to 4 hours every night.
So just make sure that you're working on each skill. So like you can't just improve your speaking score. You have to improve your fluency score. You have to work on that as an individual skill. You have to work on your fluency as an individual skill. You have to work on your grammar. You have to work on your pronunciation. Because there's nothing you can do to just improve your speaking score. You can't improve your overall score as a discrete skill. But what you can do is you can work on fluency. You can work on vocab. You can't improve your vocab and your fluency at the same time. So just make sure you're spending some of your time on fluency, some of your time on vocab, some of your time on grammar, some of your time on pronunciation. Just make sure that you're addressing each of those. Okay, so
Precisely.
let me ask you some questions here, Mustafa.
Yes,
Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions about reading. Do you often read?
I always read basically whenever I come after finishing my job. I go my house and then and there I start my reading at my house. Basically, I read newspaper and they related to my job, which are important for me. Like we can say the reading of economics or world news exactly, and often I read the books of our children. We have to teach my children who are reading in the primary level school. So in fact, you can and say I always running in the reading cycle. That's I also read at the time of sleeping too. Whenever I wake up, my sleeping at the midnight, and then I start my reading in the cell phone or others, any notebooks. I keep always any book by my pillow. We can't. I can't sleep without reading. Whenever I cannot sleep, that means whenever I feel any unsleeping, at that time I start reading. At that time, suddenly I see I feel slippery. So reading is important parcel of my life, and it is also my goal. In next time, I will also will utilize my best time in reading. Whenever I go to my retired time, I planned that I will utilize my last time in reading and writing. I will write a few books for the basically children of our community so that they can used to in reading rather than any use of mobile phone in the games and others that habitat culture. So and I also in now also I have organized a club whose name is Reading Young Club. uh, I I always take class in the at the time of holiday there, and also we and promoted few people in our locality so that we can read jointly,
Okay,
and the person
thank you,
who
Mustafa. So first of all, the examiner would.
sorry, the person who doesn't know any
Okay, thank you, Mustafa. So the examiner would stop you long before this. So the
thank you.
examiner will only allow you to expand for so long. So I let you speak for way longer than the examiner would let you speak.
Exactly.
They'll have stopped you about
Exactly.
two
I
minutes
realized
ago.
that.
Yeah. So like the examiner
Sorry.
will stop you. That will happen. Okay. Good expansion. I'm actually surprised you got 5.5. I think you could get better score than that. Good expansion, good level of fluency. You have an issue with fluency. Sometimes you need to pause and think about what word to say next, or maybe what idea to say next. But in general, you're fluent. You've got a good level of fluency. Not a band 7 level, but like, I think you might have been unlucky to get a band 5.5. I think you could get a band 6 easily. But you do have a lot of work left to get to that. You use the word unsleepy, but we don't, that's not a word. So whenever I feel, alert, but not unsleepy. And then a small few grammar mistakes. You said I go my house. It should be I go to my house. The books of our children's books. Any use of mobile phone, any use of mobile phones. So some grammar mistakes. I think focusing on grammar and fluency would probably be the best thing for you to do. Focus on prepositions and plurals. Focus on prepositions and plurals with grammar, and then continue working on your fluency. Even though you've got a good ability to expand and a lot of coherence, it's those pauses that will hold back your fluency score. So work on that and work on those aspects of grammar. All right.
Sorry,
Okay, so do you have any?
could not hear.
You can't hear. Well, the recording of this will be up in a few minutes anyway, so you can watch the recording for the feedback, and I'll see if I can get more answers for the other students. So just listen to the recording, and you'll see it there. All right. Thanks, Mustafa.
Exactly.
Nice talking to you again.
Can I ask a question, please? Thank you. Can I ask a question, please?
Definitely. Yeah.
And whenever I take any test, I have to one question to examiner. Like whenever I can't hear his speech, would you please tell me? Or sorry, one question just speaking. It will be any effect. Sorry, it will affect my score. If I ask one question. Look, that means I can't. Sorry.
You can ask them.
Sorry.
You can ask them to repeat the
my
question.
Teacher, examiner. Exactly. Sorry, I could not hear. Only one question.
No, it's not. You can ask them to repeat the question.
Exactly. So yes. That is.
You can ask them to
repeating.
But you can ask them as many times as you want. You can ask them to repeat the question as many times as you want. That's okay. That's not a problem.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself, Mustafa.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay. So I have some other students with me here. I'm going to give these students an opportunity, but I'm not going to take on any extra. So I have Isatolo. But Isatolo, it seems like you have a problem with your device. It's telling me your device isn't connected. Niso and Samira. So we'll give these 3 students a run. But if anyone else joins after that, I won't have time. So let's see what comments we have here. Hi, Zali. Good to see you too. Instagram IT. I'd have to check. I'll find it here for you. Instagram complete test success. Here, let me paste it for you here. There you go. You'll find it in the comments there. If I use a lot of present continuous in my sentence, is it true or false? Huh? Sorry, Mohammadi, I don't understand that question. Is it true or false? No, sorry, I'm not sure what you're asking. Can you rephrase it and I'll definitely help you, but I'm not sure what you mean there. How to get 6 on speaking? Sorry, Fasil, you're not going to like my answer, but to get a 6 in speaking, you need a 6 in fluency, a 6 in grammar, 6 in vocab, 6 in pronunciation. That's I know it's not the answer you're looking for, but that is the correct answer. How to give IELTS examination in Afghanistan? As you better, the British Council is closed right now in Afghanistan. Do you have information about that? Please show some mercy and give information. I genuinely have no idea. I really don't know about that. But you'd have to contact the British Council, email the British Council, or email IDP. They'd have information for that. I don't work for either of those institutes anymore, so I wouldn't have that information. But they could definitely tell you for sure. Hi, Ted. Okay, so Samira, let's get you in here. Hi, Samira.
Yes,
How are you?
I'm very fine.
Good. Where are you from, Samira?
I'm from Ghana.
From Ghana. What score do you need? What score do you need in the IELTS speaking test, Samira?
I'm aiming at band.
Going for 7. Is that the score you need?
Yeah,
Okay. When are you planning to do the test?
next month, God willing.
Okay. Have you booked it already?
Please, you say?
Have you booked the test already?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you some questions here, Samira.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to ask you some questions about shopping. Do you like shopping?
Yeah, I enjoy shopping because it's a time that I often bond a lot with my friends. I go out with my friends a lot during that time. So I think I enjoy shopping.
And what's your favorite shop?
Well, currently I'm living in a rural area, but back in the city, there is this mall that is very my area, and I often shop at that mall. So that's where I normally shop.
What kinds of shops are there where you live?
Well, currently where I am now, there are a variety of shops. We have small stores and convenience shops around, and also there is a market that you could get anything you want, and it is readily accessible.
Have you ever bought anything online?
Yeah, I've bought a couple of things online, and I think it's quite convenient and easy to shop online. So I do, although at times there are some drawbacks related to shopping online, but I think it's quite convenient.
Do you think men and women have different opinions about shopping?
Pardon?
Do you think men and women have different opinions about shopping? Okay.
I can't get you.
I think there's an internet connection problem.
Yeah, I think so. I think my internet is quite challenging. It's a bit
So I still have some relevant feedback for you. There's just when you're pausing in general, you kind of speak 3 or 4 words and then there's a break, and then you speak 3 or 4 more words and there's a break. So like you say, like, you can get anything that you want. You kind of speak in like little bursts like that. So to try and speak in full sentences rather than little sections of sentences, that would be the main thing that you need to work on. You got a nice level of accuracy. You're able to develop your ideas. Range of vocab and grammar and accuracy is quite good, but just that aspect of that way you speak, where you don't say full sentences, just you have these little chunks of sentence instead. Yeah, so that would be it. Work on that. Work towards longer strings. You're very welcome. And nice to meet you, Samira. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Jewel. Doing good. Thanks. Thank you. What should we do to improve our pronunciation? So again, it's just about understanding what aspect. So, like I'm talking to some students today. So it's the verb, like Sarah was, her pronunciation of vowel sounds at the end of a word. We had Rupinder who's pausing in the wrong places. So it just depends on the person. Depends on the person. They'll have different areas that they need to work on. So yeah, when you're trying to improve your pronunciation, it's about understanding. Oh, sorry, this one. It's about understanding what issues you have and working on those. Intonation is important, but intonation is like the last thing that you would work on. So, if you had 5 pronunciation problems and intonation was one of them, you would work on all the others first. So intonation is like the highest level of pronunciation. So in general, like for band 7, it's rarely that you would need the finer aspects of intonation. If you have appropriate sentence stress and the appropriate stress that comes with that, that's enough. Like the finer aspects of changing the meaning of a sentence based on the intonation isn't necessary. Jewel, we'll have to wait till next week, I'm afraid. I'm going to let Isatolo isn't here anymore, so we're getting Niso on. So definitely here next week, or like I said, sign up to my live feedback lessons. Those are on Zoom, so you have plenty of opportunity to speak with me and get more feedback. So the live feedback lesson on speaking is on a Tuesday, so we already had that earlier today, but we're focusing on writing in the other lessons this week. Okay, Niso, hello there. Hi, Niso. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Hi, Niso. I'm not
Yeah, I can
sure
hear.
if your
Yes, I can
internet
hear you.
connection.
I can
Good.
hear you.
You made it in. Good. You made it in. How do you say your name?
It's Nsohana.
Niso.
Nsohana.
Niso. Okay.
So,
Niso Hannah.
Hana.
Where are you from, Niso? Niso, where are you from?
Ghana.
From Ghana as well. Very good. What score do you need? Niso, I'm not sure if your internet connection is strong enough to have this feedback. Niso? I'm sorry, I don't think we're going to be able to conduct this with your internet connection. It's just too choppy. Sorry, we can't. We really can't. If I can't hear you, I can't give you feedback on your pronunciation. Try coming along to the Zooms. Maybe you wouldn't need as strong an internet connection. So sorry, Niso, I'm gonna have to leave it there. Definitely, if you could sit closer to your if you could sit closer to your modem, perhaps next time. Come along to the Zooms. Come along to the live feedback lessons. But unfortunately, I can't give you feedback on that today. Okay, so besides that, we don't have time for more feedback. But if anyone has any questions that they want to include in the comments, I can give you a few quick answers before we finish up here. Hi, Leo. Good to see you here. Seems not. Okay, so besides that, what else is going on at the moment? So I made 2 posts on Sunday. One is the essay correction competition. So for that, you write an answer in response to the task 2 question in the post, and tomorrow I will choose one winner, give them a full essay correction. So if you haven't entered that already, enter that now. I also have a lucky draw for practice speaking test. So that's a full practice speaking test with me. For that, you just need to put your name in the post. So again, on Facebook, in my Facebook page, or YouTube in my YouTube community. So just go to my YouTube channel and click on the community tab. Tomorrow is that essay correction competition. And then on Thursday, I have a live stream for task 2. So much like this one, where I give you all feedback, but based on writing task 2. And also, like I said, I have extra lessons on Zoom. So subscribe for those with that link there. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. We'll wrap it up there for now. Talk to you soon, either in the live streams on Zoom or in the Facebook page. So that's it for now. Thanks very much, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.